Yeah.
But how was it like? Tell me about that moment when you were, seeing yourself out there as this person today, but back then.
Back then, I used to see myself so big, hey? Like I used to see myself rocking on international stages. I just didn't know how I was gonna get there, but I saw I was a visionarist. So there was a book that I forgot that we were doing at school. It was a poem, right? English poem. So there was a guy, the poem was about a guy who was a visionarist. He would daydream all the time to escape reality. So I used to be like that. So when I knock off from school, I don't want to walk with friends when I'm going home because it was sort of close to 30 minutes walk from school to the house, right? So I didn't want conversations with friends. When I'm walking home, I'm dreaming. I'm seeing myself in a car. I'm seeing myself having my own things. So that thing has pushed me, and it's called hope. I think some of us don't know what depression is because of that. So we've been trained and we learned how to survive with hope. Hope is when there is nothing left, somehow a spirit in you just says, "Khotlo, look," even though you see or it's not going to happen, but there's something in you that believes. So that thing kept me going. The company that I run now, I started it in 2011, in grade 11. People don't know that version. The company started in 2011 in my head, and I only got to live the moment in 2017. The same company. So that's just to say the vision has always been there. So when our Vumbuga from social media, our commenter, you don't know. Actually, you don't know anything. Because you're just coming from an opinion, you're someone, an idiot somewhere, or what actually happened.
So you had this idea go grade 11,
Correct.
grade 12 for.
Yeah.
What was the plan?
So the plan was the idea is a holding company.
Okay.
Right? So holding company, its job is to own shares in other companies. Because somehow, from a young age, I knew that if you're a black person and you sort of make it in life, you become a target of many things, right? So I knew that the way I have to structure my things, I can't have Justice Corporation and be there as Justice Corporation.
Yeah.
I need to have Justice Holdings and then own Justice Corporation, own Justice Properties, own different things in a form of shareholders agreement. So that was the vision. I invest in multiple because putting everything in one basket, it's quite risky.
Yeah. Then you continued because you speak about obviously the company is going to be a holding company.
Yes.
That invests in other companies.
And yes,
but you can't invest without money. Now you needed the money.
I needed the money.
Was that how you sort of gravitated towards Forex to try to raise up the money?
Because 2011 I didn't know anything about how to get the money. In my head, I was gonna be a DJ, get money from music, then do the vision. You understand? Trading it's not something that I've loved. Even now, I don't love it. It's what I have to do to put food on the table. That's where people get it wrong. They want to do it for lifestyle. They want to do it for flexing, for show off. They want to do it for different reasons. They want to do it to drive their dream cars. No, I don't do it to drive my dream cars or whatsoever. I had to do it because I had to do it. And it was not the only thing that I did. I did everything you could think of. How as long as it's not crime, I was gonna go there. So I'm a hustler in short. People know me of trading, yes, but it's not what I'm proud of to say I'm the best. I don't care about the best. I care about my family.
So Black Coffee inspired you in music.
Yes,
Who
correct.
inspired you in entrepreneurship?
I think that one it's actually no one. Reason being that I think from grade 12, when you are now about to make that decision to say, what am I gonna study next year? That's where the decision even had more power and weight, because originally when I was seeing everything, I was like, you know what? Let me study being an accountant in one of the government facilities. Then when I'm inside, I'll try and raise money to start businesses. The business has always been there.
Okay.
Naturally so, the business has always been there because I come from a family of business. My grandmother used to wake up at like 3 a.m. I ate amagwinya, the chips, the acha, ariksa godis gila. Wang understand? So 5 o'clock when she wakes me up, ke ya go tlhapa 5:30, dijo di ready. And then I go to school, then we are rekisa. Then when she comes back, I used to be the one counting the money. So I saw it was not a lot, but it was enough for us to put bread for the following day, you know. Yeah. So I saw the vision of a business to say, oh, I need to go into business. Because you're sort of your own boss. I think one thing I didn't like was someone being my boss, basically. Someone calling the shots. I don't think I've ever liked that.
That's good.
Yeah, so I always knew that no matter what, I'm going to do business. Eventually, I will do business. So I went to study, but I knew that I was going to do business at the end of the day.
You were smart, Maswena, from back in high school.
Yeah, but I think had you given me cheese every day, I was not going to think like that. So I wouldn't say smart. I would say it's poverty. Poverty does that. If your current situation does not inspire you to do well, then I don't know. Because I think when things are not good, that's when you should be more inspired to do well. So if you're not inspired when you're poor now, then what's going to inspire you?
Correct.
Yeah.
So you never sort of like complained when you saw the poverty. You felt like, you know what, I need to be out there. I need to take action.
Yeah. So I think obviously I would not understand as a child, but a part of me knew that I had to be the first one to do it. I had to be the first one to change the entire family. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, coach, that's a big responsibility.
Yeah, so it is, my man. That's what I'm saying. Now, every family member of mine, habatomabari, coach, yes, scammer. It's a sacrifice that I knew that I will take that sacrifice for everyone. But how fetsa hore kwena wa scammer sela o ka se mo touch, because you know who they are related to. Because money is power, we all know. If you don't have money, nobody listens. If you have money, everybody listens.
Cash is king.
You know. So I've built that reputation. Now when you hear the surname Mutlani, you ask yourself, hey, is this not related to coach before I do anything? And for me to stand in that position, I had to be the sacrificial lamb. Be the one that gets crucified, but I know what I'm chasing. So what I'm building now, I'm not going to reap the rewards. The generations to come are the ones who are going to reap the rewards. Now I'm still fulfilling certain dreams that I have, but I'm not reaping the rewards. What I've built is very massive. And it will be, if you look at every brand, I'm going to give you an example of clothing brands, your LV, your what, you name them. There's always a story to say there was a legend who started this thing and they passed away. Now it's already the third grandson example, like third generation, right? Yeah. But being factual, during their era, Chanel or LV and whatnot, they were not as great as they are now.
True.
You understand what I mean?
Sure.
When they were alive, they were being cooked as well. They were being called names as well. When they pass on now, it becomes a legacy. Now the attackers who were attacking them during that era passed on. Now it's new generation, new blood. We don't know the history. We're just going to love the brand as it is. We can't show hate. Hate mostly comes from people who saw you move from nothing to something. Hate comes from cheese boys who are obsessed with attention and they don't understand why are you getting it more than them.